Hi everyone, welcome back to 496 Kitchen and our Cooking for Business series. In this edition, what I want to talk to you about is something which gets a lot of press these days. It's about whether or not to run an appraisal process. It's something which I feel very passionately about, that I think you should, but it's something that often falls foul of all the constraints that go on within the day-to-day running of a normal business. Okay, so there's any number of things that must come together to make a successful appraisal. But what I want to look at are a few things which, if they're not in place, then the appraisal process will be wasted. Let's look at the first one. You've got to make sure that you allow sufficient time for preparation. That's sufficient time for you if you're doing the appraising, and sufficient time for the person that's being appraising. You have to have time to pull all the facts together, and it must be fact-based. This can't be based on anything other than things you've seen and things you've heard firsthand. You cannot use second-hand evidence from this point of view. Now, lots of people get hung up about using the word evidence, but that's what you're looking for. You're looking to show evidence of great performance, evidence of good performance, and evidence of things where perhaps with a little bit more focus, they could have done things slightly different. So preparation is everything. Okay, so you've done your prep. Next thing to think about is, where am I going to hold the appraisal meeting? The environment is absolutely critical to make sure the discussion is handled in the most positive of ways. So you don't need an open space. You can't have it in an open forum. You can't have it in a hotel reception. And goodness knows, I'm sure we've all seen lots of those going on. It has to be a private space where actually both parties, you and the appraisee, feel confident to express things as they need to be expressed. So we've done our prep, we've got the environment. You must remember that the appraisal process is a two-way conversation. It's not about just you telling people how you see the world from your perspective. It's about you sharing experiences, sharing observations, but also listening to the other person to make sure that they feel that they've got the opportunity to be listened to and to put their case. And you're not going to change your mind in terms of some of the ways you've reviewed people, but you do need to make sure that you consider every side of each conversation, every side of each situation, to make sure that you've got the best perspective to hand at that particular time. Now, I mentioned at the start that the whole thing should be fact-based, and absolutely it should. The other thing you must make sure is that within this interview process, in this appraisal process, there should not be any surprises. You should not be raising things for the first time, particularly if you've seen evidence of this behaviour for a long period of time. Otherwise, why haven't you raised it before if it was that important? The final thing that I want to cover off today is that when you've had the appraisal meeting and you've concluded in terms of you're both in agreement to how things look, you're both in agreement to what the forthcoming objective should be, and you're both in agreement in terms of what the future may look like for that individual, you must follow up. You must sign that one off, you must put it into writing, you must commit to it, and you must follow up. There's no point having these discussions if then all you do is just ignore them, put them in a drawer, and then look at them the following year. Goodness knows that doesn't help anybody, and that's why the appraisal process often comes under such poor review. It's because people don't do the process properly. It's not a heavy admin process. It's not a process which should take endless amount of time, but it is a valuable experience for both parties, for you to get feedback as the appraiser, and for the appraisee to understand exactly where they fit in, from the business perspective, from the team perspective, and really for the future of the business and their development within. Okay, so hopefully that's given you some food for thought. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.